Oh,
And we're back. Another episode of the Scale of Fate. I don't know why it's still... Okay, there it goes. I was like, why is it still showing there's 4 people in here? There's not 4. Anyways, previously, previously, in Scale of Fate, for you guys, you spoke with Zeldrif, who gave you word from the king, requesting aid of any kind to come to the town of Stone Farm to help them with uh, some peculiar issues, as well as the army of Sarstag that is on their way from Field Point, the town that they had just recently demolished, in a sense, and to deal with the unknown arcane dome that has surrounded itself around Stone Farm. And with this news and finding out that Calder wishes to stay behind to learn a little bit, you all headed out to go and find the king and his army to see how you all could help. Along the way, being intercepted at one point, not intercepted, being slowed for just a brief bit by the sighting of a Firbolg, who was being attacked by 3 Sarstag soldiers. And upon fighting these soldiers, you also discovered they had a Kenku that was hidden away in the trees, wielding a very interesting weapon, a sniper rifle of some sort. Upon killing the soldiers and Kellic going a little feral due to the drug he took, you end up defeating these individuals. Orion having a short reunion with a old friend of his by the name of Bako, the Firbolg. Afterwards, exchanging items. I can't remember what you gave him, but he gave you
the Ring of Evasion.
You gave him the Ring of Evasion and something else.
And my staff.
Yeah, and he gave you a Staff of Healing.
Yep.
And upon his departure, and Kellic seeming to be recoiling from his actions via puking up what bit of blood and flesh that he did consume in the time.
Feathers.
Yeah, and feathers. You all continued on your way towards Stone Farm. We're actually going to jump a few days because not much would have happened in this time.
Real fast, did we ever get the stat block for that sniper? Because I think Kosho picked it up.
It was I think he put it in his inventory. I think it was a basic hunting rifle.
But it only has one, like a one in the chamber style.
Yeah, it's
thing.
It's one in the chamber. It had a place to. I'll re-describe it. It was long-barreled rifle, kind of like more steampunkish in nature. It had a place that you could pour in black powder and seal, and then in front of that there was a section to place a essentially a bullet without the casing on it, and close
Is it
that up.
just a hunting rifle? Is that all it was?
It was just a hunting rifle.
A black powder hunting rifle.
It's a black powder hunting rifle essentially.
So since I have a crossbow, how do guns work in terms of like proficiencies?
So
do you have to be proficient specifically with firearms?
You have to be proficient with firearms or that specific weapon. Firearms don't shoot the same as crossbows because of the recoil. Crossbow has an arc to it at a certain distance. Bullet usually generally goes further and flies a little differently than a bolt.
Damn, I think I'm not proficient with firearms.
Fuck. Okay, that's all right.
You can't. So I did stress this. You can become proficient.
Okay.
It just requires a duration of time of training with this rifle.
Can I start training with the rifle?
I'll gladly hand it to him.
Because I have an idea of doing Fog Cloud, and then I have a spell that I just added. Where is it?
Can you see through your own fog cloud?
That's a great question.
I don't actually know.
One would hope.
Well, to be fair, the fog cloud is not for me to see through. It is a setup for me to hide.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna do that and then pass without trace. So then I'll roll a stealth check to hide,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll disperse the fog cloud, and then I'll just be ready.
Gotcha.
It's more so for cover, if you know if
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
So, and I will say as well, it will take you a very, not a long time, but it's going to take a decent chunk of time
That's fine.
in order to like learn how to use this rifle.
That's fine.
I will say
I'll
you
steadily start
can
learning.
start the training with it. I'm not gonna make you roll
Okay.
anything yet, but like later on, I'll have you roll as we get closer.
Okay.
I think did I give you a number on how many rounds he had?
I don't think so.
He would have had like 30 bullets on him and enough gunpowder to shoot each of them. Because he did have a what are they called? Oh, a gunpowder horn on his belt, as well as a pouch filled with these bullets.
What kind of bullets are they?
They would just be standard, like they're just iron cast.
Is it? I mean, like in what's the
The caliber.
description of them? No, it's like the
Oh,
description of them. Like if I were to look it up in inventory.
you don't just
Just
I think you can just put bullet.
yeah, no, but there's like a bunch of different types, like bullet modern, bullet renaissance, musket bullets, palm pistol, pepper box.
Is there a hunting rifle one?
No.
Just put. Do they have any buffs to them? Just do the one that has no buffs.
No, a couple of them have. All the ones I just mentioned had no buffs.
I would say do either Renaissance or Modern because it is close to a Modern round, but it's slightly different. But yes.
Modern and renaissance are the fucking same.
Yeah. Okay, then do Renaissance because it'd be close to that. It's handcrafted bullets; they're not machine made. Okay, so in you had got.
I will keep track of the bullets. I promise.
Yes. Yeah, this campaign is a little more important than some of the other ones we've had in the past. But anyways, you guys travel for roughly about a week through these mountains, finding yourself coming out of the mountain range to see some distance away the very top of this like transparent bluish white dome some distance across the plains. And as you get closer, you begin to kind of take in the size of this dome that is just made of just pure arcane energy. Looking at it,
How far away is the dome?
at the moment, you guys are probably maybe it's like barely visible for you. I'm trying to think of how far you could see across it. Probably about somewhere between 30 miles away, like 30-ish miles.
Pretty big bubble.
It's based on what you can tell as you guys kind of like get closer and closer. This dome takes up a few miles of space. You don't know exactly how much it takes up, but it does appear to take up the entirety of the town as well as some of the farmland that is around the town. So it does seem that they can still grow crops and survive within this dome. And as you all are kind of making your way closer to it as well, you do see kind of stationed along the edges of the mountains and in some of the parts of the plain, you do see multiple what look to be military camps. Many of which have flags of the Almorian army kind of staggered around. Kind of show who they are.
Is it safe to assume that's a relief effort?
Um,
Like National Guard type shit?
you can tell from where you are. It's a mix. There are
Okay.
heavy infantry that are in there that seem to have like whole tents just filled with armor and weapons and various different equipment and stuff like that. There are some that look to be more civilian, just individuals in cloaks and tunics that seem to be moving around, some of which seem to be patching up those who have minor injuries, who are sick, things of that nature. And there are some that are stationed near the dome who seem to be researchers of some sort. that seem to be looking at this dome and trying to figure out how to get through it and what's causing it and stuff like that.
I wanna turn to the party and just be like, if anyone has any like good military IQ, I just can't wrap my head around why, assumingly, Sarthstag would take over this town of Stone Farm. It seems like a very insignificant town.
Well,
I don't really get what they're playing out here to like.
it's interesting you say that. Back at the monastery in Almoria at the Runelight, there was talk of a few monks who were enlisted to watch over the creation and the, I guess, the enforcement or the activity of these magical golems that are being used to mine precious resources within Stone Farm.
It's a resource game for them then. And
I
from
don't
what we
know
can
exactly
tell,
the specifics, but it seems pretty precious.
that's a good start at least. At least we get a motive for why they're doing it. And now we just need to figure out the vehicle at which they are enacting this. Like, how is this dome, put up? Is there like circles around Stone Farm that we have to like get rid of, or is it? Can we dig under it? Can we fly over it? Something. I think our best play is probably meeting up with some Almoria cell on the outside here and seeing what their researchers say about any information they have gathered so far. Because I guess we are the cavalry.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
I'd like to also check in on the townsfolk, if possible.
We'll
Just
just
to make
we'll
sure.
walk around and try to get as much information as we can, because maybe they're not sharing it with the army.
Very well.
And technically, we're not the army.
Indeed, we're the
18.
Disco Inferno.
Yeah, that's our current name, but I think we're probably gonna change it.
Nah, we gotta have it for the rest of the campaign.
I'm okay with it. I think it's hilarious.
I think Calder's the only one who's been against it.
Calder was the one that made it.
How was you that made it?
How
I don't
about
think I made it. I think
how
Calder
about
did.
Disco Dugs, or something related to Doug the horse?
Oh, that's true.
Are you guys talking about this in the like actual wagon?
What about the cavalry? Yeah, no, this is a legitimate conversation.
When you say
what about
Doug,
the cavalry?
he snorts and like neighs a little bit.
The Order of Doug. Sacred Order of Dougs.
The Doug Collective. No, the I don't know. We'll keep thinking of things.
Don't worry, Doug. We will figure out. We will figure out a name.
He makes like a gesture, like he's nodding, kind of like you know how horses like throw their head up and then back down. He does that like 3 times.
I don't have speak with animals. I should probably get that. I kind of forgot about Doug. Is Doug a horse or is he a donkey? Because I kind of want him to be a donkey.
He is a
no. I
like,
want him to be a donkey.
He is a this very like what would be the word, like a chestnut brown.
Okay.
Horse.
Is he a big horse or?
He's a fairly large horse. Like he's not like the biggest you've ever seen, but he is like strength-wise, he looks to be a very strong horse. Plus, he has to carry. He was bought to carry a cart and or Kellican plate mail. So.
Or was he created?
Or was he created? Kellic can do that.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just we'll start riding towards the nearest setup of tents and whatnot. Maybe if we pass townspeople on the way, we'll stop real fast and talk.
Okay.
Fine by me.
As you guys do kind of ride up to, you do notice that like a little bit of activity starts up in some of these camps. Like people start moving around. There's a couple that are like looking over to you, talking to one another. And as you guys kind of get closer, there's about a group of like 3 guys that come up. Look to be 2 of them are human, 1 is an elf. The elf seems to be kind of taking point, all which donned in very nice chainmail armor. Each having a sword on their side and a shield on their back.
Do they have the Almoria crest on their armor?
Every single one of them. They all do. So like a big crest across the chest too. Like it takes up most of the chest.
Is there anything denoting rank?
The elf looks to have a few not ribbons,
Stripes.
but like it looks to have a few special little decorative armor pieces like on the shoulders.
Medals and shit.
I wouldn't say medals, but it's like these decorative kind of it's like decorative metal armor
Embellishments.
yeah,
I got you.
embellishments,
Like
yeah.
like embellishments or engravings upon like pauldrons
Like
or some
Star
shit.
Wars.
Yeah, like the nicer shoulder pads type deal. And he's
Like
also
like the stormtroopers in Star
yeah,
Wars.
sure. Yeah, kind of like that. And he does seem to have also attached to the back of the chest plate he's wearing does seem to have a small bit of cloth that almost produces a small kind of cape of sorts. So he does seem to be of a somewhat higher ranking, but you do also notice there are some others in the camp who didn't come forward who look to be a lot more decorative or decorated.
What can I roll to see if I know the salute that they use in the Almorian army?
History.
That be history? Yeah, history.
Okay, flat history. Here we go. Oh, it's a 19.
19.
Yo, nice.
You reckon it's a fairly standard salute. The only major difference with it is the way they always do it. Most people keep one arm down. The left arm generally goes behind the back, while the other one goes up to the forehead, and kind of almost it doesn't. What's the way I'm looking for it? It's not like parallel to the ground. It's more of pushed. It's slightly tilted back a little bit. If that makes sense.
Like palm forward kind of
Yeah,
thing.
kind of palm forward salute.
How tall is this elf?
The elf is like he's rough. He's a shorter individual. He's about 5'7". The two humans with him, one of them looks to be about 6 foot. The other one about probably 5'10" ish.
Well, I'm gonna salute this elf and wait for him to finish the salute. Salute me back and whatnot.
You make this salute, and Kella kind of stops the cart as they kind of come up. And he looks a little confused as well as impressed, as most people that are just kind of a tag team group doesn't normally just kind of salute military individuals like this, especially in a time like this. And the other two seem to kind of return the gesture more of an informal. It's more of an informal salute than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's very loose. He kind of half does it, and he says, "State your business for being here."
By order of the king and the prince of the region, we were requested to come here and investigate in this magical dome encapsulating the Stone Farm region of Almoria.
From the back of the cart, I'll reach into let's see, who has the letter from the king? Is that you or me?
I think Kosho.
Probably
Okay.
you.
From the back of the cart, I'll grab into my bag, get the note, hand it off to you, so you can pass it off to them.
Yeah, I'll hand it to the elf and just kind of wait.
He takes it and looks it over, gives a nod, and offers it back to you. As you kind of take it from him, he turns to one of the other guys, and you hear him just kind of mutter. He says, "Inform the prince that we have more allies." And he turns back and gestures to one of the larger camps that seem to have a very large abundance of just kind of random people that don't seem to fit in. He says, "If you would like, you can set up your cart and camp over there with the rest of them." Those are the
Are
others.
those refugees of the city, or are they travelers?
Those are others who have heard the word.
Where can we report to get all the information that you guys have so far about the dome?
Someone will come and find you.
All right, thank you very much.
And he gives a
And
nod.
I'll salute him again.
He gives it back a little more formal this time, a little more rigid.
Hell yeah.
And as you kind of go off,
Increase renown.
Why
is this mossy bird fucker saluting me?
As you guys kind of ride past him and the other human kind of they stand there for a moment and speak to one another before heading back to where they were. But you guys arrive at this camp. You do, as you kind of look about, there's all kinds of people here. You see people from all over the place that seem to be of all different walks of life. There's some that look to have set up, there looks to have been a small forge set up. There looks to be someone who's repairing various armaments and clothing. There's someone who's kind of essentially made an outdoor kitchen. They've brought a bunch of stuff and they're cooking meals for the soldiers and those that are here as well. And it seems that there's just, it's a very lively situation. There's a lot going on here as you guys kind of pull in. You do also notice, I will, with one more thing, you do also notice there is a group of, the only way to really explain them is bardic individuals. They all seem to be dressed in very similar attire.
So journalist.
Journalist?
Yeah, all the bards being like, now see, you'll never guess what happened here in Stone Farm.
Wow, that was really good.
Thank you. I've been practicing for the Star Wars campaign.
I might have to commission you for some voice things at some point. But
damn, I wish I had a better mic then.
Hey, that was perfect. You need a shitty mic for that voice. Anyways, you do notice though, like these individuals, a lot of them have like tattoos, like a lot of tattoos on them of like various things. And you do notice there is a trend with a certain tattoo, whether it's on like the back of the neck, on like a part of the chest that's exposed through their vest, or like on an arm, a leg, that seems to have the phrase "Hope Bringer."
Okay.
Different languages tattooed on each of them.
Now, can I roll an Arcana check?
You can roll an Arcana check if you want.
Splendid.
11. Would I be able to notice what like the symbol means, or is that also an Arcana check?
The Hope Bringer is in different languages. Depending on the person it's on, you see a human who it's literally just in common. There is an elf who has an elven. There's a half-orc as well. His is an orcish. And it's like whatever race they are, that they're like the language that is associated to their heritage is the language that this saying is in.
Can I sidebar real fast? Is this the Grim Hollow character that you didn't get to use?
Oh no, he's with the other party.
Oh, okay. Just because I'm pretty sure the Hopebringers was part of that Grim Hollow thing.
Oh, 100%. But they were all dead for Grim Hollow. This one, we're actually using them.
Oh, okay, so this is like a prequel.
Ooh.
This is the other universe's version of them.
I see.
I gotcha.
Splendid.
But yes, you see all like this individual, like they've made their own little setup, and they seem to be like laughing and talking with each other, and there are some people that look to not be a part of their group that are with them as well, that seem to be like having lifted spirits and seem to be having a good time essentially. But yes, what were you going to say, Kosho? Because I did interrupt you at one point.
Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Other than the Arcana check. So what? We're just passing through at this point, walking around, seeing the sights.
Yeah, you came into this camp and you're like looking for a place to set up.
Okay. Let's see. How far away are we from the dome?
This camp in particular is about probably 500-600 yards, or feet. I mean, 500-600 feet away. Like it's not far from the dome, but it's not super close at the same time.
Okay. I guess let's see. I'm gonna turn to Orion. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna step aside for a moment and go meditate. By all means, make sure everybody's okay and ready for whatever's yet to come. I'm sure the Sarstag dogs are going to strike at any moment.
They might.
And I guess at this time, when I go to walk away, or I guess to walk either out of the camp or find some place that's just quiet within the camp. I don't know how, or I don't know if that'll be possible, but
The camp seems to be pretty boisterous and like busy.
Okay.
I would say you could probably get like 200 feet from the camp, and it would be fairly quiet.
Okay. I'll walk. Okay, then I'll walk a little bit closer to the dome. I guess, yeah, maybe 50, 100 feet
Okay.
towards it or so. Yeah. And when I finally find the peace of mind, I'm going to try and meditate and see whether or not there is any accumulation of ki within this area, either in near the dome or just near the dome and within the encampment in general.
I would say let's roll. I think I've been having you roll straight wisdom. Let's say it's what I've had you been rolling.
Yes.
I was gonna say if it's been something else, let me know. If not, then roll me a wisdom check.
16.
16. You do feel essence of ki. You can't identify the specific points of where it is coming from.
The vibe.
Yeah, like you get the energy that yes, there are others who have tapped into their ki that are about, and you can feel them within a certain distance of you, and you can tell it is both of the camp. The camp there does feel the feeling of ki is coming from the camp as well as the town. And while you were tapping into this as well, you do feel something that isn't ki as well. There's a different kind of, it's like a source of power you can feel that seems to, as you are kind of feeling out this energy, almost for a moment seems to be feeling you out as well. If that makes sense.
Did you catch a vibe, bro?
Well, someone is expecting me, perhaps.
Or just noticed your presence?
Well, good. Hopefully things will mesh well.
Now, what would the rest of the party be doing? Well, I would say by this point,
Well, while we're waiting,
yeah, Kellic would have found a spot, stopped the cart, unhitched Doug so he could not be attached to a cart, and would probably be caring for him while you're doing whatever you're doing, Orion.
well, I'm just
You just Jay chilling.
just chilling. I mean, I was gonna leave the cart, but then I was like, I'll just wait for word to come back about where they want us to go, any information, and then I'll restock later if I need to.
Okay. So after you do this, Kosho, because it would take about 30 minutes to kind of complete this task of yours. What would you do after you have completed it? He dies. That's what he does. Kosho? Did he mute himself?
Hello?
Hello.
Sorry. What did I miss?
I asked, what would you do after
Everything-
you finish your little meditate thing?
Okay, so when I'm done meditating, at that point, had I spotted any, let's see, any animals while I was walking through the woods prior to this?
So you're in a field, for one.
Okay.
You have not noticed
right.
any. There's not. The only wildlife you've seen around is birds, and a lot of them seem to be vultures, and there are a few hawks that seem to be going about. Other than that, there isn't. You haven't seen any wildlife. It could also be that there's stuff hiding within like the taller bits of grass that you just haven't noticed. But really, you've only seen birds.
Okay. Let's see. I want to look down. I want to look down at the ring that I have and just kind of twirl it around in my fingers for a moment, looking it over. Remind me again, what engravings does it have on it?
The questions I've never prepared for, because I put detail in this ring and then I forgot the detail of this ring. This ring is a golden ring with a emerald band So like an emerald gem that seems to be wrapping around within this golden ring. That's really it. It's a very simple ring, but it's made of pure gold and has emerald as the band that goes around it.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold to the touch?
It is a comfortable temperature.
Very well.
Like when you first
Um,
got it, it was not cold on your hand, and it's never really gotten to the point. Like when you start to sweat, like rings get uncomfortable. Like
mhm.
it's never gotten to that point for this ring.
Okay. From my position, can I see any defensive armaments that are surrounding the camp?
You do notice looking around because this would be very easy. The soldiers' camps, especially the what you would only assume to be would be the equivalent of like Minutemen, are the camps that seem to be the outer camps towards the west. Seem to be the ones that are set up like 100 or so feet from the second layer of soldiers' camps, and then behind that is more civilian camps and other camps.
Okay.
So it seems they have
Hmm.
prepared for an attack at any moment. Um, and you also notice too there are a few beyond the camps. There look to be a few items that probably are producing wards or various detection magic, like various detection spells that would tell if the camp was being attacked. You see a few, like some distance away, a few thousand feet away from any of the camps, there seem to be these rods that are stuck into the ground that seem to be just sitting there, and they're roughly about 50 to 100 feet apart. So it looks to be some sort of ward or pretty much alarm system to tell if people are approaching the camp.
Okay. Let's see here. I guess let's see. Are there any let's see. Okay, so I'm in a field right now. Are there any berry bushes by
Um,
chance?
Not within this field. Most of these
Okay.
fields that you guys are kind of sitting in look to be, um, like at the moment where these
Hmm.
camps are, they look to be unkept farmland, and you'd probably assume because the farmers who would keep this farmland up are within the dome and haven't been able to come out. Beyond
Okay.
the farmland is like tall grass and like wild grasses and stuff like that. Like there's not really any bushes. It's more of just like grassy fields.
Do I see any golems anywhere?
Not out here.
Okay. That's a shot in the dark. Okay. Um, yeah, then I guess at this point I'm gonna go ahead and start making my way back to camp. And try and either find an armorer or the party, whichever one comes first.
The
Well, if you're going to the
party,
armorer, I would like to also go to
yeah,
the
the party
armorer.
would probably be the first thing you'd find. The armor was probably closer to the side you guys entered the camp on. I this is correct me if I'm wrong about you guys, but I think you would set up your camp within this kind of little encampment closest to the dome as possible. Would I
Yeah,
be okay? So I want to make sure I was correct on that before I like assumed
I'll
anything.
agree with
But
that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you would be the closest position you could to the dome to be able to watch the dome. So the armament would be on the other side. So you'd hit your camp before the armament. Um, but yeah, you do return to the camp. You find uh, Kellic finishing up, kind of uh, feeding Doug, and kind of he's. It looks that he's like stuck a python in the ground of some sort, and is tied Doug to it with a very long kind of lead that seems to be attached to Doug's harness. So Doug has a little bit of movement room, but can't walk off. Uh, and he is kind of going through his pack next to the cart. It looks to be just organizing things. Yeah.
What is Yotan doing in all of this?
Yotan is sitting there within the cart, just being Yotan. He's not really saying. Obviously, he's not saying anything. Um, he,
Can I get a description of his appearance?
um, yes, you. So, like many Goliaths, he is a very tall, bulky individual, pale white, like grayish skin. His is a little paler than most due to the nature of his being. And he
Which
has
is,
undead. Um,
does my character know that he's undead?
you would have figured it out fairly quickly, and you would have
I
known
think
the
it's
Okay.
been
entire
alluded
time.
to.
Yeah, you guys like, and I think it's been mentioned a couple times that he is undead. And the only like big description about him, he's wearing this like wooden mask, this odd wooden mask that covers the entirety of his face. You can actually see his profile picture in the party thing, but it's this like red and black mask that has it's a very odd mask. I'm having issues I'm struggling to describe it because there's not
He's
really
basically Jason from fucking
yeah, Jason
whatchamacallit.
Voorhees is what he's based off
Yeah,
of.
he's
But
Jason
yeah,
Voorhees basically.
he like the mask itself is just it's got an odd design on it that I don't really know how to describe the design. Um, Other than it's just a red and black mask that looks to be made to intimidate foes. That's and obviously he has a double bladed scimitar on his side at all times, and he also has a set of the manicore claws that he is kept to be able to fight with, essentially.
Are they still strapped to him?
He has left. I think he left them on his hands. I think he just
Splendid.
wears them at all
Okay.
time.
Hmm. I think. Let's see. Okay. Very well. I'm trying to think of how Mr. Kosho would react in this scenario to him and his being.
Yeah, he's just kind of sitting in the back of the cart. Like he hasn't moved. He like you guys got here. He moved to the back of the cart and he sat down on the back of it and he did not move.
I think I'm just gonna mutter under my breath and shake my head. What an odd sort.
Okay.
Unfortunate that he's in this state.
Okay. Um,
If I could actually, could I go over to him and just be, or ask him, do you understand me? Or can you hear me?
He does understand you.
yeah, he would nod to you because you've talked to him before.
Okay. Would you consider maybe, what's the best way of putting it? Maybe not being undead?
He doesn't give you a like answer of any kind. He kind of sits there, and you assume he's staring at you because there's not really any eye holes in this mask. You're not entirely sure how he sees through this mask, like at all.
Is it like a Red Hood style thing?
Yeah, like it is a smooth piece of wood that completely covers his face, like eyes and everything. And he just kind of like sits there and stares in your direction. He doesn't really respond.
Not even a shrug?
Not even a shrug. The
Okay.
only thing you can assume from this is maybe he's thinking about it, but you're not entirely sure.
You know, in another lifetime, I could have been like you. And I'm very glad I'm not. No offense.
Doesn't
And then I'm gonna just look to the other party members and say, hey, so would you all like to venture with me to the armorer?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna want to get more bullets for this gun so I can start seeing how it is. I only got 30 shots right now, so
Hmm. Splendid.
might be nicer just to have it.
If you need help with buying ammunition, then I can assist.
I should be good.
Okay. The
Does
armament.
Kellic come along?
Yeah, he kind of like you as you kind of like mentioned this. You do see his like one of his ears twitch a little bit at like the sound of like doing a little bit of exploring, and he kind of gets like kind of picks himself up, sliding his bag underneath the cart, kind of hiding it behind the wheel a little bit. Kind of turns to you, and just looks ready to go. Doesn't really say anything. You can tell he's still a little troubled by what happened a few days ago. It seems to be lingering in the back of his head, but other than that, he seems to be in the mood to go see what's going on.
Can I notice this discretion on his face?
It's not
Or
even.
this expression?
It's in his. I would say it's in his eyes, and you can definitely tell because he makes eye contact with you, and he has had a pained expression in his eye.
Let's get some fortitude.
He gives you a very big smile at that thought again because you reminded him of the very luxurious thought that he had when you originally mentioned this. And you guys head over. You find the small kind of makeshift forge that like, even though it's like a temporary structure of sorts, it's fairly impressive. Like you could live in this essentially is what it kind of looks like to you. Like someone took a house, brought it here, and then built it. um, and you see in like on the inside there's about 6 individuals kind of moving about. Three of which are dwarves. There's 3 dwarves, a dragonborn, uh, a human man, and then a Goliath woman, who all seem to be kind of moving about this forge. Uh, the dragonborn, the human, and the Goliath are in the back. They seem to be doing repairs on various pieces of armor. One of them is trying to fix a sword that has been uh, shattered, kind of trying to put like forge the pieces back together and reform the sword.
Yeah, reforge the sword and then give to the rightful ruler of Gondor. Yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. Yeah, you get it. You've seen this stuff. You just know.
Read all the
And
books. Don't
the
worry.
the three dwarves, which look to be it's you assume they're family, probably a dude and his wife, and then his son. That seem to be uh, the uh, the man and the woman seem to be talking to one of the soldiers. Uh, the younger dwarf, kind of off to the side, kind of looking over a few kind of dinky swords that are like put into this barrel, kind of like almost looking to see like what needs to be fixed, what needs to be sharpened, things of that nature.
I just want to approach one of the blacksmiths and pull out one of the bullets and just ask them, um, is there any way to make more of these bullets? And if so, can you show me how to make these bullets? Because I too am a, foundling blacksmith, just a little baby blacksmith.
The kid, you would have talked to probably the younger dwarf, and he would have said, uh, let me get one of the others, and he kind of quickly goes into the back, and he actually retrieves the human that's back there, who comes up, kind of patting his hands together, like after putting down a still very brightly oranged blade that he was messing with. Um, and as he comes up, he says, "What is this about bullets?"
Um, Came into possession of this firearm, and I don't really feel like buying bullets, and I feel like it might just be more economical for me to make my own bullets as someone who is a little skilled in blacksmithing.
He says, "May I have a look at that?"
Yeah, go ahead.
He takes the gun from you, and he kind of looks it over, and you see him like he goes through like every detail of this, opening every slot that can open, messing with various things, and like looking it over. And the entire time he's doing this, he's muttering under his breath and nodding. Seems very impressive. This is a very fine piece of equipment you've gotten your hands on. Where did you
Appreciate it.
find
We had
this?
to we got a bit ambushed by this group of Goliaths and a Kenku. And the Kenku was hiding in the trees, popping shots at us. And once we were able to take care of all of them, well, we had to get rid of him as well.
Well, they make sense. Well, that's
Yeah.
a very good find you've gotten there. You're wanting
Well,
to.
unfortunately, I'm not super used to firearms. I'm a little bit more of a old-fashioned kind of guy, and I'll gesture towards my crossbow that's on my back. So I just want to get a little more practice with this thing, and maybe I can be a little bit more useful on long-range shots.
Well, if it is bullets you're looking to get, you kind of you
Well, I
seem.
was wondering if you could teach me how to make the bullets properly. That way, I don't have to keep on bothering y'all, and I could just make my own, and maybe give my own little spin on it.
Kind of scratches his chin for a moment and turns towards the dwarf, the male dwarf, who's now kind of glancing over from his conversation with the soldier at this. And what languages do you speak, or Ryan?
Aarakocra, Orin, Common, Druidic, Giant, and Sylvan.
Okay, so you wouldn't understand what they're saying. You do see them beginning to talk. You can tell it's dwarvish that they're speaking in. Uh, the conversation's not all that long. It's a few seconds. They go back and forth for a moment. He turns and he says, "How about this? Come back here later today, probably when everyone's kind of settling for the night, and I can try to teach you a thing or two."
That works for me.
He says, "It won't be for free, but I won't charge you too much."
That's fine. I kind of figured money would be required. Do you guys have a shooting range around here?
He just kind of gestures in the direction of where you guys came. He's like, "That's the best bet."
Appreciate it. And I'll take my gun and leave.
He kind of just watches you. Kosha, what are you doing during this time?
Or I guess I'll signal whoever is available and greet them, and I'll say, "Hello there. Might I inquire about your stock of possible canisters and possibly any impact casings, if any available?"
Now, let me ask real quick. When you say impact casings, you're talking what?
Bombs,
Bombs. Okay, you're talking bomb casings. You're talking something that you can make an explosive with.
firecrackers to grenades to yeah.
Once again, you would have been asking the young dwarf who hastily goes and retrieves someone else. Um, this time it would be the dragonborn that comes forward. Kind of very big. Looks to be a black scaled dragonborn.
How tall is he?
He's about 7'2". He is the
Oh,
biggest of this group. The Goliath is close behind him at like 6'8". And he is like very muscular individual. And
okay. I think
he kind of
at
wanders
that.
over. Now, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, at that moment, Kosho, he'd probably like very subtly twitch for a moment, but he'd do very well to suppress it.
He kind of walks over and he just says, "What is it that you need?"
I need something equivalent to the blast of a dragon, but within a small metal casing. I need impact casings, grenades, bombs, the natural stuff.
Shit, son, if we had that, we wouldn't still be at war. Goddamn.
He kind of lets out this very like deep like. At first, you don't realize that it's a chuckle because it almost sounds like a growl, but you realize he is chuckling, and he kind of turns away and kind of walks off for a moment. You see him go behind one of the little things in the back and starts like you hear metal being shuffled around before he comes back with 3 different kind of like metal casings in his hand. He kind of sets them down. He says, he kind of leans towards you and he says, which are you thinking of? And as you kind of look at these, there's one that's like more of a traditional kind of like, it's more of a like a rounded casing. There's a place to pour in like gunpowder, maybe shrapnel pieces, put in a fuse, and then close it off with wax. There's one that it's almost like a cylindrical shape. The bottom looks to unscrew so that you can fill it, while the top already has a fuse kind of embedded into it and already sealed in with like kind of a wax. And the last one, you're not entirely sure what this casing is and like how it would work. Like it doesn't appear to have a visible place to put anything. It almost just looks like a box of some sort.
It looks like a box. Is there a button?
It is a smooth box.
Okay, so hold on. First, I need to write these down. Okay, so the first one you said it was a small round casing
like
with a wax.
Your traditional like rounded bomb casing.
Right. Okay.
Like something you would see in Zelda. Like that's my best comparison.
Does that mean bomb chews are a thing?
No.
Can I summon rats and put bombs on them and make bomb chews?
Technically.
Yes!
Orion, would you be watching my conversation with this mad lad?
Yes, and I'm thinking about all the ways how I can summon a billion pigeons and just carpet bomb a fucking area.
Okay, so Kosho would put a hand to his chin, and he'd survey the casings. So the first one you said a small round casing. Next one was a cylindrical one, and then the next one was a box.
So there's like a sphere one, your traditional bomb casing. There's one that is more cylindrical. That's bottom unscrews, top is already set up, and the last one looks to be just a cube. You don't see any distinguishing markings or anything on this cube. It is just a cube in your eyes.
Well, I need a little bit of everything, you see. However, and I notion to the small pouch of what is it? The poisonous berries that I believe I have.
Mm-hmm.
It was either they were poisonous or they were
deadly nightshade.
Yes.
I
Okay.
remember
So
that specifically.
So I notion to the bag and say I need something that I can possibly smoke out some people with.
Okay.
And trust me, when they breathe in or just feel this smoke, they will be knocked out for good.
Can I roll like a survival or a nature check to be like, actually, here's an herb that could work?
Sure. Yeah, nature.
Shit, alright. Ironically, as a druid, I have a +0 in nature.
There are worse things in life.
Oh, that's a nat 20, baby.
All right. Yeah,
Let's go.
You would know that Kosho, the berries he has, are very dangerous. You do also know of a few other herbs that I can't think of. Like, I'm not going to come up with off the top of my head because I know nothing about botany. But you do know of a few other herbs that, when mixed a certain way, they can make. What's the term I'm looking for?
Like, are they flammable or
There's you know of some that are flammable, that can make flammable gases. There are some that make essentially a tranquilizing gas. There are some that make a nauseating gas. Things of that nature.
Well then, I would like to know that info, but that's for another time. let's see. So I guess at this moment, I'm a bit of a craftsman myself, or at least I'm trying to be. I'm trying to make sure that I can, master all the effective ways of combat. And I feel like mixing and matching with a couple of these would really do me some good. How much do
Sure.
you require, or how much are these individually?
He kind of looks at each of them, kind of tapping his claw against his chin for a moment. And he says, "If you're looking to make smoke bombs, essentially," and he taps the cylinder one. He says, "These would work best." And he
Again,
gestures.
I'm looking for
Yeah.
everything, which also I'd like to know more about this, and I point to the cube.
He says,
Give me the
What
cube,
is
boy.
this?
"This is a special trick," and he kind of you see him kind of place his claw on it. You see the way he does it. He kind of pushes two of his claws near two opposite corners near near you, the closest corners to you, and then puts the third in the middle between the bottom two. And as he does this, and he kind of twists his hand, you see the cube itself. You know those sticky note towers that are like twisted, where it like makes the weird shape.
Yes. No, yeah,
It
yes,
it
I see
it
what you're saying.
it does that, and then when he lets go of it, you see that the sides of this cube, as it kind of shoots back to its normal position, you see that there's a strip on each side that kind of shoots out, um, and you hear almost a spring load noise, like something that if it had something loaded on these springs, something would have shot out of this cube. And you, as you see these arms kind of come out too, you do also see a small bit of like smoke come out as this happening. He says, "This is a special thing that I've played with from time to time."
Is that supposed to shoot something from it?
He
Or
gives you
expel?
he gives you kind of a nod, and he says, "It varies from user to user." And you see him go into one of his pocket, and you see him pull out uh, what looks to be essentially a piece of like barbed wire. He says, "These are my personal choice. They're harder to get out."
By the way, I just posted a link in chat to herbs in D&D 5e, and there's a lot.
Oh my,
This will be fun.
this will be very fun.
I found a mushroom that you can make a enlarge or shrink potion from.
Of course, of course. And
Imagine.
uh, he says, "I have a few friends back home that like to put in simple fire bolts to shoot out, or a gas cloud of some sort."
And that'll do do the trick just fine. Um, if you do you happen to have nets that can be loaded or barbed wire that can be loaded into these?
He kind of glances over at the others for a moment, and you see him reach under his coat, and you can see under his coat he seems to have like a bag of holding. And you see him pull out a leather pouch that seems to have many holes poked through it. And you can tell that from these holes there are a few barbs that are sticking out. He says, "I keep a few around. Never a bad thing to have nearby."
Oh my god. Y'all trying
Well,
to brew a potion that turns you into a girl?
No. Of
It's called the false whore's cap.
course it is.
wow,
Never letting you guys find that mushroom.
that's epic.
I don't think
Okay.
we're gonna be able to find it, but
But yeah, he shows you the pouch.
Okay. That is a that's a mighty fine utility that you have right there. How? Hmm. Well, look, we're currently here on business with the prince and the king. I don't know specifically if they're going to allow us to just get armaments for free, but I'd like to compensate you. So, how much are the sphere casings going for, and how much for the cylindrical ones?
He he points to the spherical ones and he says, "These ones generally get destroyed and are fairly easy to make. I'd say 3 for a gold piece, and then the cylindrical ones can be refurbished if used as smoke bombs. Uh, I'd say a gold piece each."
Okay. Then I will take. Let's see. Do. I guess I'll just take what, 15 of each. I
Okay.
think that's a good number.
Okay. So remove 20 gold pieces. I think I did my math right.
Coolio
Yeah,
Bulio.
20 gold pieces. He takes a minute to make more of the cylindrical ones. Seems to be sealing some of the wicks, or not the wicks, the fuses onto some of these that had been not assembled yet. The parts were there, but they weren't assembled.
Is there anybody else in line?
There are others that seem to be like during this time. It takes him roughly like 10 minutes to get you everything. During the time the soldier would have walked off, there would have been others who would have come up with like, just been like, I need to get this fixed, and given like one of the dwarfs like a gold piece or something like that, and then like walking off. Essentially, it seems like this is more of a drop off point than anything else. A lot of people seem to be dropping off broken equipment, and then being told like, be back in this much time or something, or like we'll have that fixed by this point. It's like going to the shop to get your car fixed. You just kind of throw it at them and just like, yeah, fix my car. I'll be back in an hour, or something like that. But he does get you all of the stuff, and you pay him.
Is there any emblems of Rothshire within this room?
Roll me a perception check.
9.
You do not notice anything.
Damn. Okay. Oh, I was hoping for the goddess of the forge, but she is not here
Or at
for
least
now.
you don't know if she's here.
my sussy maiden.
My sussy maiden, dear God. Please don't call the dragon god a sussy maiden. Uh, anyways,
Okay.
and as he gets you like the last casing and you kind of put him in your bag, he's like, "Is there anything else that I can do for you?"
Do. Actually, uh, how much would it be to craft maybe a small firearm?
Hmm. I don't have much experience with that. He turns over to the human and kind of walks over to him for a moment. They speak off in the back for a moment. He comes back and he says it would take a fair amount of time.
Well, we're here to stay for now. Please.
I would say to craft one at a time like this, possibly 50 gold, depending on how much time it takes. Could be less, could be more.
Can I make any I guess any specific, or can I give you, or can I implore on some specific design choices?
Sure.
If possible, I'd like to keep the magazine size uh between, I guess, 4 to 6 rounds, if possible. I need this thing to be lightweight. It doesn't, or let's see, lightweight, but also shoot as far as it can. I don't know if that'll be possible, but
You'd have to have longer rifling for
Yeah. As he
longer.
says, are you wanting a rifle or are you wanting a handgun of sorts?
mm, if possible, the best of both worlds, but a handgun for now.
We'll see what we can do. I guess just come by at some point later and we'll tell you what our progress is.
Very well.
And if
Uh, can I hand him the 50 gold just as a good faith?
yeah,
In a stroke of good faith or whatever? Cool
yeah,
beans.
he'll take it and he'll say, "We'll see what we can do as quickly as possible." Kind of goes back towards the human, kind of putting the goal. You notice that they do seem to have a community slot that they seem to have been like putting gold into.
Cool.
And he begins to have a conversation with the human in the back who they're both. It seems a fairly calm conversation. The human gets a little irritated from here and there, but other than that, it seems to be a very pleasant conversation between them before he uh, begins to start searching through bits of metal and pulling out like various scrolls that you assume to be probably blueprints or something, or some sort of reference of some kind. Um,
Splendid.
there
Well,
any
I have, let's see. Oh, well, okay.
Actually, I have a quick question. Can I, for future reference, do some kind of like intelligence roll to see how well I understand the rifle inner workings?
Yes,
Okay, just let me know what I'm got. Insight? I don't know.
I would say it would
Investigation?
be a raw intelligence
Raw?
check,
Okay.
mainly
Where's
because
my
it's
intelligence?
not you're not crafting anything in particular. You are just trying to understand it, and insight's more for. I would say you could do investigation. I guess would be the closest actually, because you are
Oh,
investigating. You're
I'll
investigating the
take
mechanism.
that. Yeah, I'll take that. That's a +4 for me. All right, let's see. Oh, that's a 7.
7. This
Can I
this
use can I use investigation to try and roll to see if there is a symbol of Rothshire anywhere?
No, because you did your perception
Damn it.
already.
Dang it. Okay, let's see.
My little druid bird brain is like, I don't know how this magic thing works. It's got to be
You
magic.
put the thing in the hole and it shoots out this one? I'm so confused.
Oh, do I have to keep track of how much black powder I have? Gunpowder
I
I
would
have?
say you would have enough equal to your bullets. That's how I'm gonna
Okay.
make you track it.
Oh, that
Whenever
means
you
I gotta buy
whenever you buy
black.
bullets, I'm just going to have it that you refill
Well,
your
I'm
horn.
hoping I can just craft it on my own, but I don't. I guess unless I can find a substitute for gunpowder in like some kind of like natural thing, which I doubt, I'll just have to buy it raw.
Yeah, and I'm not. Your gunpowder is not super expensive. It is a bit rare in some places, but it's not. You may,
And it's in like a horn, right?
yeah.
All
Gunpowder
right,
is
cool.
made in bulk, so it's never expensive. It's just usually hard to find.
I gotcha.
But
Well, I'm good with the. I'm done with the blacksmith. If Chris is also done with the blacksmith.
Okay, so I have the casings for the bombs, but I need to actually fill these up with gunpowder, or not gunpowder, but black powder as well, correct?
it just needs to be something combustible.
something combustible. Okay. Let's see.
And because it is a metal casing, it needs to have enough explosive force to bust the casing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the smoke one, it's simply the wax will melt and dissipate once the fuse gets to a certain point so that the smoke can come through. So the smoke bombs aren't hard. It's the actual, like, if you're trying to make an actual explosive, that's going to be a bit more of a challenge.
Huh.
Apparently, we have a thunderstorm outside. That's fun.
Yeah, it already rained here for me.
Okay. Let's see. I have.
Oh,
I mean, I have.
interesting.
I mean, I have like a tinderbox full of stuff, but I don't know if that'll be of any
Can we
use.
can we go mining or like buy the raw ingredients of black powder and then like mix it?
Yes.
Okay.
Pog.
You met
Yeah,
someone
I
who
would
was
like.
doing that. You guys blew his eye out.
Oh, that's I still have the blue shards, I think.
I think you gave some to
Yeah.
Calder because they were arcane crystals. They were
Yeah,
fragmented.
I gave him some of them. I still have some though.
Okay.
I guess if I'm able to, or yeah, if I can call this guy back over, I'd like to buy, I guess just, catalyst stuff.
So
Charcoal, salt, and
you
sulfur.
would know that they don't seem to have the supplies of actually. They have the casings, so they mainly have metalwork. They don't seem to
Okay.
have any chemical stuff.
Alrighty
The
then. I
closest thing
guess
to
we're gonna have to
chemical for them
find.
is they have a oil barrel that they are dipping blades into to cool them. That is it.
Okay.
Could make Molotov cocktails. That would be easier than bombs, but
Well, that's very specific. I'm going for
bombs.
I.
You're going for bombs.
Bombs. More blank with bombs.
Bombs, rope, bat boil. You want it? It's yours, my friend.
Only if you have enough rupees. Anyways, so you done with the blacksmith?
Yes.
Okay.
If there's an apothecary that's identifiable, then I'd like to go there. Otherwise, I'm down
The
to
only things you've
eat some
noticed
food with
around,
the party.
yeah, the only thing you've noticed that could be close is like there is someone that's like brewing up like medical herbs and stuff and like potions. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be much of like the alchemical kind of sense. It seems to be mostly medical based.
Okay. I would like to go over there just to ask them a few questions.
Okay.
I
It's
guess
like
whenever I.
yeah, you go over to this little tent that there's
Sorry, I don't mean to make it into a shopping
no,
episode.
yeah, it's
If
it's all
anything,
good.
this is the perfect time to do a shopping
This is
episode.
this is the perfect time. There's two half elf women in there as well as a drow male that's in the back. He seems to be in the back of the tent, avoiding as much sunlight as possible. Kind of his back to the opening of the tent, kind of messing with chemicals in a dark corner. The other two seem to be organizing herbs. One of them mashing up stuff within a mortar. The other one kind of organizing various bottles and vials of what look to be different healing potions.
Huh.
Okay. I'd like to go up to the drow, and I'd like to introduce myself, and I'd say, hello there. I am Koshoji. Um,
Obi.
how are you doing today?
Kind of almost giving you like the stank eye, like why are you talking to me type deal. And he just says, "I'm fine."
Are you perhaps, well, perhaps you are more than adept in alchemy?
I would like to think so.
Although this place seems to be a supportive place, I would like to, well, you see, I understand that this place is mainly a place of healing. However, I seem to be having some terrible sleep apnea.
some terrible insomnia.
or insomnia, not apnea. Whoops. Is it possible if you know any remedies to, I guess, synthesize any sort of sleep therapy or sleep supplement? I'm a very heavy sleeper. Well, I need
Very
something to
light
knock me
sleeper.
out. Yes,
Very light
sleeper.
sleeper.
Excuse me.
He kind of looks you over for a moment. Kind of
Does he notice the brewing kit or any of the adorned
roll me a
robes
deception check. I
indicating?
want to see. Roll me a deception check.
Okay. 10.
He kind of looks you over, and you get the idea that he doesn't. It's not that he doesn't trust you, though he does feel like what you're saying to him is very. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Crafted, I guess, for this situation to try to get him to give you something, or get him to give you something. And he kind of like, as he kind of looks over you, looks back to the other two, squinting a bit because the sun outside, and he kind of grumbles under his breath for a moment and shakes his head.
I just want a potion that Calder would lose his shit for.
And he says, "There are herbs in the mountains that help, but I don't have any here."
What? Are you one that doesn't like to go outside? And so, as I say this, where is the light being cast?
It's from the
On the
opening of
desk?
it. It's from the opening of the. It's behind him. It's from the opening of the tent.
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. I guess as I say that, I'll also flash a few gold pieces in my hand.
And he kind of glances down at them, glances at you. You know, he almost seemed like when you do this, like he lightens up slightly, but he also seems to be like, really, you're trying to bribe me right now? Like, disappointed, yet like accepting of this.
Very pleased. I'm a light sleeper. If you could help assist me, that'd be very much appreciated. Or even lend
How
me a few
how much gold are
key pieces of
you?
your trade.
Yeah, how much gold are you flashing him?
Let's see.
And are you holding it out to him to take, or is it just kind of like being shown?
I'll flip him. I'll flip him a tenner.
Okay.
Isn't that just a platinum piece?
Yeah, that'd be just a platinum piece. Uh, he ends up he takes it. And he kind of lets out a reluctant sigh, and you see him next to this little desk space, kind of move into a chest. And as he kind of opens it, for you, Kosher, you don't see the bottom of this chest. Like it's just a black hole where he's reaching into, and you see him for a moment like shuffling his hands about, and he pulls out a box that would fit in like both hands. Kind of sets it down on the desk, closing the chest closing by itself next to him, and he opens it, looks inside, closes it, and offers it to you, and just says, "These are. This is 10 tranquilizers. They should help." And he kind of gives you this kind of weakened smile, like not weak smile, this fake smile. And then he says, "There's also the herb that you would need for one of these. You can use it as a reference."
Can I roll medicine to determine?
What the herb is?
Yes.
Sure. That or nature.
Can
Okay.
I do it?
You can as well if you would like.
You said it was either medicine or nature.
Yes.
I think I'll do medicine. That's a 12.
I got a 10.
All right. Well, either of those work.
This there you see within this box, like you see the tranquilizer, you see two different kind of leaves within this box. One of which looks very familiar, but you're having an issue at the moment, like putting to where it came from, where you've seen it before. But you see kind of this like thicker, kind of purplish green leaf in kind of one of the slots that like this herb is sitting. The other one seems to be a kind of it's kind of like a dark pale green color. And you know you've seen this plant like as you've walked about like in the mountains. You've seen this plant from time to time, like hidden within shaded spots underneath either rock formations or like in very heavily shaded like spaces under trees. But the names of both you can't seem to come up with. Though Calicu is also there and is just kind of watching this conversation from a distance. Uh, you do see his eyes kind of fall upon the thicker leaf. As like this happens, and you do get a sense of
Oh no, he's becoming a fiend.
no, you do get a sense of like the idea of like he wants that leaf.
Yeah, he wants to chew on it. He wants to trip, bro. God damn it.
Wait, question. Do I know what it looks like?
Yeah, it's the thick purplish green leaf that like
Oh, is it the same one that Kellic uses?
I would say you would get that idea from his expression when he sees this.
I am going to use Druidcraft because if I recall, you said it was a very minty smell. I'm going to make everyone smell minty.
It is it's a very slight like bitter mint flavor to it, so it would produce a slight mint smell.
I gotcha. I have a quick question actually.
Yes.
While we're here, can I poison bullets or is that not a thing?
You can.
Ooh, good to know.
Ooh. I look over to the drow and I say, in addition, do you
Oh,
happen
it's the
to know
drow.
how I could synthesize these into something a bit deadlier?
And you're showing him the deadly nightshade.
Yes.
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 Run.
He kind of glances over at them and looks back at uh, the various things that he has across. You notice across the desk too that it's like various papers, and then like there's a couple of vial stands that seem to be there. Some of which
Before he says anything, I'd like to also add Sarstag isn't gonna know what's about to hit him.
That'll convince him.
yeah, he nods a little bit, kind of almost his demeanor changing slightly, and he says,
I don't have a
what are you
first.
wanting to do with them specifically?"
Well, I'm looking for any ways to break apart any of their giant lieutenants that they have. I just need something that can be quick, whether it's inhaled or
Come on, man. Bleed or
uh,
poison damage. Come on.
whether it's inhaled or drunk or drank
Drink.
from or whether it's simply just by permeable touch.
He nods and he says, It's an airborne form you're looking for. There's a process that it has to go through first. It kind of goes to like a notebook or whatever and pulls one of the pages from it, begins to like scribble down a few things, and essentially what he gives you is like instructions on specifically how to do this.
Cool.
There is a chemical process that has to happen, and you do notice like it has to be mixed with certain I will give you a list at some point, hopefully,
Cool.
on how to do
I'm
this.
calling this deathweed, by the way.
Yeah, like he gives you the process. It requires an actual like alchemical stand, like a full on like
Yes. Okay.
stand to make this stuff.
A Chemex.
Damn.
Yeah, like
Make coffee with it.
Yeah, no. I don't think you want deadly nightshade in your coffee. Unless you want it to be your last coffee, but
exactly. Or I can poison someone else. But
yes, it could be their last.
I just
coffee.
realized I don't have a poisoner's kit, so me asking for poison is like.
Well, if you have like an
I just
item
can't make poison.
If you have an item that is poisonous that you can smear on a blade or something, you can do that. But poisoner's kits to make the poisons, and then you use the poisons.
I was hoping to do that, but I don't have the poisoner's kit. I might have to take that feat though. But I'm just gonna ask. He has poisons, correct?
Well, he doesn't. I do.
He has Kocho has poisonous berries.
Oh, does the drow, or is he just a alchemist?
He is an alchemist who, he hasn't said he has any poison. And
well, I'm
based on what you've seen,
none was mentioned.
They seem to mainly be working on healing potions of sorts and other things to cure various ailments.
All right. Well, I'll take. I don't know what ingredients I need to make. I'm assuming the ingredients to make healing potions are cheaper than the actual healing potions.
You've been able to find them as you've gone like through the woods.
Okay. I just want to get a stock of ingredients that I can use to make future healing potions. And maybe some more glass bottles.
Okay.
That's all I'm really looking for. If he doesn't have that, that's fine.
He would kind of turn to you and just be like, that would be a bit tricky at the moment. We need all of the equipment that we have for such things.
For the war effort?
Yes. He's like, as you can see, and he kind of gestures out, like, out the door, like, where clearly he is not trying to look. He says, there's many wounded that need these potions, and we can't exactly afford to give up the resources right now.
I gotcha. Oh, actually, I just realized I need to go back to the fucking blacksmith. God damn it.
No worries.
I need to sell. I'm just gonna really quickly run over there and sell my fucking half plate armor I still have.
Okay.
By all means.
Because I have leather studded armor that's like just as good. I just want to get rid of my half plate.
Because of your dex?
Well, I just didn't want the disadvantage on stealth. So I got rid of the half plate, and it's like +1 armor. It's like +1 leather armor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got the +1 stuff.
Yeah. I just want to sell the half.
I'm not going to RP with it, but they're willing to buy it from you for 500 gold pieces.
Dude, is that
for the half
50
plate.
platinum?
That's 50 platinum.
Yeah, that's 50 platinum.
50 platinum? Damn, look at my math go.
We really did those multiplication tables and division tables back in school.
I unfortunately am good at math.
Oh god, I haven't even been looking at chat.
Chat has said nothing. Chat is silent.
Okay. That's good, that's fine. I'm glad to know I'm the only one that posts funny things.
You and
I do too sometimes.
Yeah, no, Ryan. Yes, you three. Just you three.
Yes. Splendid.
Okay.
All right.
Now that you've done these situations, is there anything else you'd like to attempt to do?
If we're good to go to the wall or receive information,
Okay.
I'd like to know more about the drug that made Mr. Man perk up his ears.
Well, this would still be pretty fresh in your memory. You do remember after you guys went into oh good, now chat's talking. You do remember after you guys went into Malifor's lab, the Mad Wizard, when Jabbers was in pain, this drug was used to soothe him. And when this happened, Kellic ran out of this drug and actually started having withdrawals from it, is what you remember? And you remember him getting a bit twitchy about it. Like he was having trouble sleeping, he was having nervous twitches, he was acting erratically at times, but it was never anything devastating, but he was definitely suffering from withdrawal. Until you guys got back to the city and he came back after leaving you guys for a full day. He returned looking and feeling the exact same he was before running out of this drug.
I want to have a quick sidebar with Kellic and ask him, have you ever seen anybody OD on that?
He kind of gestures to the box. He says, the leaf?
Yeah, is it possible?
I don't think it can kill you. I think it just slows you down if you take too much.
Can I make a tea out of it?
You're selling your armor, sir. This would have been wise.
I tried this when Kellic was unconscious after we killed him the first time. I was like, I'm gonna try to brew a tea.
I think you ruined it the first time.
I think I did, and I want to redo it. I want to do it again.
Well, shoot, I'd love to take your supply of, well, I guess tranquilizers and and your funny steroid leaf. So
Yeah, how many uppers and downers does Kellic have?
What do you mean uppers and downers?
Well, tranquilizers are downers, and then steroids are uppers, kind of, sort of.
Oh, you're talking about like enhancement drugs and then drugs that calm him.
Correct.
He's got a number.
I just want the downers so I can make it into like a stew or like a broth or a tea.
When you
and then sell it massively on the market and then become rich and then just be like, all right, I'm done adventuring.
When you ask him about taking the leaf from him or his supply, he kind of shakes his head at you, and you get that reaction of like asking a drug addict not to be a drug addict reaction.
Okay.
No, I'm not asking him to not be a drug addict.
I mean, I'm talking about Coach.
I'm
You're
just
asking for his
asking him.
leaves. Like it's like asking
he's
for.
just being stingy.
He just kind of like you see him kind of place a hand on like his chest plate, which you know is where he keeps his supply, like under his chest plate, and he kind of like shakes his head and takes like a half step back.
Kellic, can you give me a seed? I'm gonna stare at him.
He just says, "I don't have any seeds. I just have the leaves."
What's this? What's the? I know we've heard it before, but what is it called?
Roll me an either nature history or nature history or nature. Yeah, nature history. No, I'm saying nature like 6 times. Nature history.
I use medicine.
Medicine works too. Yes, nature history.
Oh,
medicine.
That's a 14 then.
24.
You remember it's called Stilmo. Is the drug.
Stilmo.
I'm gonna write that down.
I have it written down somewhere. I just stopped taking notes. Is there? All right. should I roll again, or can I, if I can, use the same 14? Do I know where Stillmo grows, or how it grows, or
Um,
you know? This is the botany episode. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is what it's become as the botany episode.
same here. I'd like to conspire with whatever I learn.
You know, it's an odd drug, like a drug plant, because it
And this is the
grows.
downer, right?
Yeah, it
This is the
grows
drink.
in. It generally grows in higher altitudes and colder temperatures.
God damn it.
Um, and you do know that some people have also been able. You do know that, like, from what little research you've done in the past on it and what you've seen, it is possible to stimulate or create those environments underground with the cooler climate underground. Um, you get lesser yield from these plants if they are underground, but they are the same quality.
All
And
right.
you do know that's how many black market dealers who sell this plant. That's how they do it. Is they have very large underground operations.
They have like an actual meth lab.
It's more of like growing weed in your basement. Because they just
Under
sell
UV lights.
they just sell the leaf because the leaf is drug enough.
By the way, FBI, this is purely fiction.
For legal
Please do
reasons,
not
this
look
is a
at
joke.
do not look at my Google search history, which is about how to make gunpowder, how to make black powder, poisonous mushrooms. It's all
Hey,
for D&D.
it's not illegal to make
Promise.
gunpowder. There's people
It's
that reload their own rounds. I'm just putting that out there. It's not illegal.
Mm.
Now the
I just
the
I when I
poison
was
thing
googling it
might be a
earlier,
little might be a little questionable. The gunpowder
when I
not
was
so much.
googling it earlier, I put in parentheses as a joke, like, ha ha ha, this is for D&D, I swear. It got me those two links that I sent earlier. I was like, oh, cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well, let's see here. Okay. Well, let's see. So I have the list of how to make, or I have the list on how to synthesize Deadly Nightshade. I have the method on how to make the, what is it? Do 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 do. The tranquilizer? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to buy from his, or I'd like to buy his supply of tranquilizers, if
That
possible.
was his supply. Was that box?
Yeah. Okay.
That's his supply.
And he said no or
No,
yes.
he gave you the box. You have
Oh,
eight.
he did.
You have
Oh, he gave me the
you.
entire
Yeah, you
box.
have the. I think I said
Oh, I
eight
thought he was just still
tranquilizers.
holding it. Okay.
No. He gave you the box of like 8 tranquilizers, and then the 2 ingredients that you need with the alchemical
Okay.
station.
Cool beans. All right. Then I guess at that moment, do we need healing potions or anything?
I can make some.
Oh, actually, I also want to ask him, do you know of any plants around here that could cause itchiness?
Kind of shakes his head, and just says, "There's
No, but I know a few people that will.
Yikes.
dear Lord." He says, "There's a few ivies and such up in the mountains that can cause it, but nothing here."
Okay. Very well, thank you.
Kind of gives you a nod as you kind of walk out of the tent. Are you guys heading back to your cart?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm Gucci.
I'm satisfied.
As you guys kind of like make your way back to the cart, you see a very familiar individual walking towards you all.
Aurora.
No. You see in the plate mail that you had seen him in the first time you were, or one of the times that you had been around him, Prince Joseph.
Oh my god, he's here?
Let's fucking go!
You see him walking up in his very polished platinum kind of armor. Two very nice swords on each hip, as well as a shield on his back. Um, and beside him, you see a centaur. Very tall, individual, looking to be wearing very druidic garb,
Nope.
and is in hand holding this kind of warped staff that he's just kind of
A
holding like
knurled branch.
pretty much. He's holding it. Obviously, he can't really touch the ground with it all that well, but because he towers over most of you. But he is just kind of holding the staff in hand. And the prince comes up and it says, "It's good to see all of you. It's been some time."
Well met, my prince. I take a slight bow.
And gives you a slight nod. And he says, "I assume you ran into Zeldrif or one of the others to get the news, considering the timing of your arrival."
Yes, Zeldrif gave us the letter. And I guess I can show him the letter, but I guess it's not really needed. But
And
we answer your summons.
well, it's good to hear that I have a few familiar faces nearby to aid.
We do apologize for some absences. Calder is still studying with Zeldrif. He did not accompany us on this little excursion. We are investigating things on our own end.
Well, he's probably using the time wisely based on what I know about him.
Well, hopefully when we see him again, he'll be slinging spells like nobody's business.
I can only assume he will. The centaur kind of shifts slightly. And Prince Joseph kind of comes to his senses for a moment and just says, "Where are my manners?" He says, he kind of gestures to the centaur. He says, "This is Salazar, the archdruid of Almoria."
Is there like a secret druid meeting I can say to him?
You could say something in druidic.
I'll say something in druidic then, I guess.
What do you want to say in druidic?
We all know that it's druidic sounds like Animal Crossing language right now. So everyone else, it sounds like
It's canon now. I can't stop it. It's canon. It's forever.
that's what I did last time.
Yeah, it is canon.
I'll just turn to him and say, oh god, I want to say something poetic. I fucking hate poetry.
I fucking hate poetry.
I'm so shit at poetry. I guess I'll just greet him and say, well, I guess I wouldn't know what sect of what group of druids I'm from.
You just know
I
it's
guess
Bako's group. That's all you knew.
I'll just be like, hello, Archdruid. It's an honor to meet you.
And he kind of returns like with a very, very slight bow back, and he just says,
Do the voice.
Yeah. Everyone's like, man, that's such a lame language. And I'm like, nah, you don't get it.
"You don't get it." Just,
It's at a frequency that all animals can hear.
Yeah, that's all animals speak like that.
Exactly.
He says, "I've heard much about you." This is what he says in Druidic. From the rest of you.
Hopefully good things.
He kind of gives you a smile. Seems amused by the comment. He says, and as he changes to common and looks to the rest of you and just says, "I assume you're all wondering what is going on with, well," and he kind of gestures to the dome.
That would be the elephant in the room. That would be the Loxodon in the room.
He chuckles a little bit at that that statement and just says, "To be honest, we don't know ourselves what is actually going on."
So, what attempts have been made so far? What have you tried? I'm assuming sieging, digging, climbing, passing through, walking through, spells.
Magic does not work on it, or at least ours is not. Um, and it does seem to go under the city, town. Um, we're not entirely sure how deep it may travel, but, well, efforts have been shortened slightly due to the inevitable showing up of Sarthstagian troops.
Yeah, we ran into some on our way here. That's how I got this fancy schmancy rifle.
Him and the prince kind of look to one another for a moment. The prince nods a few times and he says, "We had heard that there were a few that slipped into the mountains. Um,
We dispatched 3 of them with a Kenku. They were trying to interrogate another druid you might know, Bako.
Centaur nods and just says, "He's a very good friend of mine." Ah,
Oh,
it's
he's
good.
safe, and he's looking for more of his pact.
That is good to know. I would hate for something to happen to him.
Well, I guess you are. I'm going to turn to the prince. I guess you're expecting us to somehow find a way into Stone Farm.
I wouldn't say that. It is a hope. I don't have any expectations of the sort, but if anyone is to do it, all of you seem to be more than capable of figuring out such things.
I'm going to start walking towards the dome while we're talking.
Doesn't say a word, walks away.
No, no, not.
No,
I'm
yeah.
like while
No,
we're
yeah.
talking, I'll just be like,
So,
yeah, okay. Okay. Um, quick question: is the dome opaque or is it see-through?
it is slightly transparent. Like
So I can see through
you
it.
can see through it. Like that's why you can tell how much of the town makes up the inside of the dome.
Okay, I have an idea that might work. Um, if we're good to go ahead and start testing, unless there's more stuff the prince wants to tell us.
Well, I'd like to ask the prince a few questions, if I may.
Okay.
While you
Let's
do
see.
that, I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do.
Okay, yeah, I guess as you go to walk off, Kosha would go up to the prince and I guess say, "Hello there. It's been a long time,
I'm
Your
gonna go pee
Majesty."
real fast.
It has been.
Or is it Your Highness?
Either works.
Very well. Um, it's good to see that everybody here is in good straits. I wanted to ask you, possibly about some of the magical armaments that we have here today. I was told in passing, that a few of the Runelight were enlisted to watch over, golems, I believe, that are entrusted with either working within the underground or even, I don't know, I presume on the farmland, but I haven't seen anything, presumably since this dome is set up.
Yes, there are a few that um, came this way. Uh, I haven't
How
been
big
able.
are they?
There's maybe, I think the last that I'd heard, maybe 30 of them in the town.
Okay.
It could be less though. That's
Big in collective and in actual height or size.
and in size. He doesn't know the size of them.
Hmm. Okay.
He says they were here to research with the townsfolk of their golems and the magic they use, as well as a deal that was made with us to keep such magics from being used against the kingdom, or to give one an advantage over another.
In what way?
The main fear was turning these golems into entities of war. We didn't wish for any of that to occur, and felt it was best to keep them to the level of resource collecting.
Wait, player to okay, pause. Player to DM. Are Warforged a thing in this campaign?
Warforged are technically, yeah, they are a thing. They're not golems though.
Okay, cool
Warforged
beans.
actually have like a soul and a sentience. Essentially, a Warforge for this campaign is usually the way of like it's a means of almost like eternal life. You give up your body to be within a mechanical one.
Metalloid,
Yeah.
yeah.
Though of course it has its risks as well.
Yeah. Ups and downs,
Yeah,
gotta keep the
but
metal going.
and not a lot of people
Polished.
pursue that path, so there isn't a whole lot of Warforges running around, and most of them generally stick to places that are generally populated with a lot of artificers, making it easier to get fixed up if needed.
Okay. Very well. I wasn't gonna say anything about it in character, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay then. Are there any other monastic tradition or not traditions, but any other sects that are involved with this? Or is
There,
it just the Rune Light?
I think on occasion, others have passed through, but I don't think any have stuck around like the Runelight. I think a few have come in to exchange information and resources with the Runelight, as this was a closer point of contact.
Mhm.
But I don't think they've ever stationed themselves, or at least not to my knowledge.
Do you know of the locations of other temples within this region?
Let me pull up my map. Kind of. Thanks for a moment. He says, "I know there is a temple in Sandhelm down to the south, um, as well as one in
Doesn't have
Dansgar.
to specifically be for the Rune Light, by the way. This
Yes,
is
yeah.
just any monastic.
He's naming ones that are around,
Okay. Sandhelm,
and Denskar.
Dunskar.
He says, I believe the one. Actually, I don't know if Wooddale has been sieged by Sarthstag yet, but I believe there is one in Wooddale, or at least near there. They may have hidden themselves within the woods, though, but I could be wrong. And I know the one that was in Borum was destroyed not too long ago.
Hmm. Very well. Well, at some point, I wish to exchange, I guess, teachings with other disciples, if possible. And I guess as I say this, I hold out my pee pee poo poo hands. I wish to, I guess, trade ways.
He kind of nods in understanding of this pursuit. He says, I'm sure you'll get an opportunity." And you guys kind of stop like roughly like 20, 30-ish feet from the dome.
Dope. My time to shine.
Okay, what do you want to do?
So I already secretly summoned my wildfire spirit,
Okay.
and I'm gonna test the waters before I do anything. I'm gonna have my wildfire spirit. I'm gonna pick a flower off the ground, give it to my wildfire spirit, and have him teleport into the dome.
Okay. As it attempts to do this, um, you see it do the normal act of like teleporting before it appears on the outside of the the dome, and is shunted back 10 feet.
Okay.
And it does take 5 points of force damage.
Oh, I don't even know how much health he has. Hold on.
I think it has like 16 or something, if I remember correctly. It has a number. I don't remember what that number is, but it has a number.
It has 25.
25. Yeah, so.
Oh, 30, my bad.
30,
It's
yeah.
30.
So it lost 5 health.
Damn, that's a lot of health, actually. 5 plus 5 times my druid level? That's actually not bad.
No, yeah.
For it being just a fucking wildfire spirit? That's not terrible.
No, it's fairly. You guys are also of a high level, though, so, like, it's going to be a lot better.
I'm level 5 in druid.
Oh. Never mind. Oh, it'd
Yeah.
be much better if you'd just gone full druid.
Probably. I regret it a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. So yeah, your wildfire spirit is shunted backwards though. The Salazar kind of pitches in and just says, "We've attempted to teleport and move entities through the barrier, and with no avail. It's
Do we know the cause of the dome?
whatever is producing it is from within the town, but we're not sure of what."
Is the
If
king
I
here as well?
Who?
The king of Almoria?
Are you asking them that?
Yes, specifically the prince.
Yeah. Prince Joseph kind of nods. He says he's speaking with his generals right now.
Oh damn, the king's here.
We actually did fight a battle not too long ago. And he's discussing with his generals what should be done next.
So
Restless.
real quick. You guys have tried teleporting through it, digging through it, walking through it, shooting spells at it, presumably trying to siege it with like melee weapons. Have you guys tried healing it?
He looks a little confused and intrigued by this. He says, "That one
I
did
know
not."
it sounds weird, but if it is some kind of counterintuitive thing, like we're trying to damage it, but if we were to heal it, maybe it'll weaken it somehow. I don't know. Just a guess.
Kind of makes a gesture. He says, "By all means,
Any information is good information.
if you
I'm
wish
gonna
to
go ahead
try."
and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at first level.
You feel the spell go off, and you don't feel it take hold on anything as you kind of place your hand on this dome, and feeling
Oh
it.
wait, does Cure Wounds have to be on a?
It's touch.
No, I'm saying does it have to be? Oh no, it says a creature. So can I do it on like? Can I do it
You
on a
can you
construct?
can you can cast it. It may not affect anything. Is
Okay.
essentially what's happening. You can waste spell slots willy nilly. Like you can break the rules if it's just like, yeah, I'm casting this on nothing. But like, yeah, you do this, and as you kind of put your hand onto this dome, you don't quite ever make contact with it. There's almost like a force pushing your hand away from it. Um, almost as if it's trying to repel you away from it. And you get the idea of due to the teleport and it being an instantaneous speed, that's why your wildfire spirit was shunted back so hard, while you are simply
Mhm.
being pushed away.
Okay.
What's your guys' passive perception?
13.
Yes, 13.
Okay. As you guys are kind of standing here, like, discussing this, you get the sensation of being watched. And kind of,
I turn around.
yeah, kind of glancing around, you don't see any kind of source that it could be. And as you kind of look towards the dome again, you do see near the edge of the town, there seems to be a silhouette that's just standing there watching you guys from inside the dome.
Menacingly.
I will say with that passive perception too, the shape of this individual seems familiar. Like you've seen this person before.
Man, if only we had our encyclopedia nerd here.
Of every character that we've ever encountered.
Can I do an Arcana check to see? So you said it was force damage.
Yes.
Would I know that just from watching?
You would have, yeah. From you touching this or attempting to put your hand on this dome and what you had seen, you would get the idea that this is a type of gravitational, like, the damage done was based on a gravity that is pushing away from this dome.
Damn it. Okay, that spell wouldn't work then, right? Hmm. Huh. Honestly, I have no idea.
I check to see if there's any key emanating from the dome.
I'll check for a lock.
I would have said with your meditation, you would have known the dome isn't producing ki.
Okay.
I feel like my joke was underappreciated
Yeah,
there.
I'll look for a lock. Yeah, I got you.
Man.
That's what I thought he was asking for at first, and I was like, "What do you mean a key for the dome?" And I was like, "Wait, he's talking about his essence." Understood.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel around for a doorknob.
Looking like a mime over here.
Are there any in the surrounding environment? How does the dome interact with the ground? Does it like dig into the ground, or does it stop at the ground?
So it looks like it just stops at the ground, and
Okay.
if you like as you kind of kick a little dirt to the side and stuff, it does seem to go deeper, but it doesn't look to cut through the ground. It seems to simply pass through.
It while kicking the dirt, does the dirt go through the barrier, or does it just bounce off the barrier?
The dirt bounces off.
Okay, never mind. I don't really know if there's much we can do. Oh, you know what? I actually have a great idea. Here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to knock.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock on the dome.
Do it.
That is my. I don't like. Do I have to roll anything for that? I don't know.
No. You do this, and there's a long kind of moment of just sitting there. Kosho, you would hear this from a distance. Oh, Ryan, you hear this in your head.
Oh
You
yikes!
hear a laughing for a moment before hearing a very familiar female voice that seems to come in like 3 layers that just says, "I didn't think it would be so entertaining to watch people try to get through the dome."
Do we recognize this voice?
History check if you want me to tell you.
Okay.
It's an 11.
14.
It's been It was before you guys went in the mirror that you recognized this voice.
Aurora?
Aurora Borealis.
You know it's not Aurora. I will say that much.
Female voice before we went into the mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
But
I don't think I was just guessing is gonna work. Can I talk back in my head, or is it a one-way thing?
What arc is this from?
you can try to talk in your head.
I'll talk back and just say, wow, that your voice sounds familiar. Where did we meet?
You hear another laugh for a moment before you hear.
Oh, I just know who. I just figured out who it
You just
was.
figured out who it was.
Yeah, I just figured out who it was.
She
I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Chris try to figure that one out.
she replies. She replies.
Was I here for this one?
It's
Yes.
disappointing to know that I could be so forgettable.
You're not forgettable. I just didn't think you. I thought you were in Greyborough still.
Oh no, I left there not long after. Well, everything ensued.
Well, while we're having this open line, just want to have some questions. Feel free to let me know if you don't have to answer these questions. I'm just genuinely curious. And if you don't want me to tell anyone, just let me know. Why? That was it. Just
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, why?
Why to everything? I have nothing else. I don't want to sit here and go through the a billion whys. Just in general, if you want a monologue, go for it. I mean, I know you're smart. Listen, I know you're smart. I know when we were in Greyborough's, we went to Greyborough's Tower. Me and Calder, felt your fucking power. So I'm not surprised that you're capable of doing this. I just didn't expect this, to be honest. I'm a little confused. Not the smartest guy in the bunch.
Sorry, I'm having to reply to someone real quick.
Oh, you're good.
You okay? The three of you, feel a sensation, almost an invitation. Do you accept?
Yes, I do accept.
Kosho?
All of us?
You, Kellic, and Orion.
I accept because I don't think we've ever done anything wrong to this person.
I also accept.
I don't know if Chris has figured out who this is yet.
Is it? Well, I don't.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you?
Is
You'll find out in a
is-
second. You'll find out.
I have names.
You'll
I
find
just
out in a
don't
second.
know who's who.
Your vision, the three of you, your vision goes black for a moment.
Okay.
Before you find yourselves standing on the edge of Stone Farm, roughly 100 feet or so from the dome's edge. The prince and Salazar both standing there looking confused, as it seems you had simply disappeared and reappeared inside.
I'm glad that my knocking worked. That's the funniest part. To them, they don't know anything. They're just like, oh my god, his knocking fucking worked.
And
why didn't we try this?
Before you, there's a individual in a very fine dress wearing a cloak over top of it who pulls
With her
down
three
the
heads.
very large hood to
With her
reveal
three heads. Tricolored head.
dragonborn heads
Yep, that's what I thought it was.
moving about. And you recognize this individual as Callista,
Oh,
the three-headed
okay.
dragonborn you met in Greyborough. And each of the heads seems to smile, one of which, though, the green one seems to fixate itself on staring at Kosho in particular, as she kind of looks over all of you.
Oh, I just realized this is like the worst person for Kosha to run into. Oh my god. She's a dragonborn and she's like all about magic.
And
Oh,
she's 3-headed.
oh, buddy, I apologize.
And it's rumored that she's a descendant of Tiamat. What?
But yeah.
Anyways.
Where's
She-
Rat Dog?
I think at this point I'd put my my monastic mask on
She
and my
looks,
showl.
yeah, she looks to the three of you though and says, "And what pleasure is it do I have to have your audience?"
I'm just gonna point with my thumb behind me and point out like the prince and all them. Uh we were answering summons. Um kind of thought this was a different person we were getting caught up into, unless you were connected to them, which I'm honestly not the craziest
Wouldn't
thing I
be a
would have heard today.
surprise.
Yeah, not the craziest thing I would have heard today, but um, we're here to investigate why there's a dome over Stone Farm, and honestly, we've been hounded by Sarsthagians. I just need to know. Give it to me straight. Any one of the heads can give it to me straight. Are you guys connected to Sarthag?
She frowns, and all the heads, all three of them, frowned in the same look of disappointment and a little hurt before the red one says, "We want nothing to do with those pigs."
Dude, sick. Then we're on the same side here. Because we've been getting harassed by them. I still have their bounty letter, which honestly is borderline offensive. Um, I still have their bounty letter. They were attacking my previous mentor. I really have no love for Sarthstag. I know Cowler fucking hates them. Um, so honestly, if you're against Sarthstag, shit, fucking sign me up. I just want to know what's going on here. Just genuinely curious.
I am protecting my assets and the people of which live in the town that I consider to be mine.
You consider the people of the town yours?
No, they can go as they please. The town itself is mine.
Okay. I know we
I,
were here a few times.
You rule over this place?
in a way,
They let you?
now two heads are fixated on Kosho. The third.
Can I interject and just go, it's more like she let them live here?
You do see upon the blue and the green heads' faces, they seem to be looking at Kosho. They don't look at him in like disgust in any kind of way from what he is saying. There's more a sense of being intrigued and interested in something about him. And you watch both kind of like shift, kind of like up and down a little bit, and like serpent like to kind of like evaluate him as they're like taking in details of Kosho.
I'm just gonna be chilling.
And finally, the red one kind of turns to him, and they all kind of look at him, and he said, the green head says, "My dear monk friend, have you ever noticed the serpent that's made its home around your neck?"
However do you mean?
It seems you cannot see it, or maybe feel it.
It seems that there are many abstract beings that are bound to my blood. But no matter. I'll deal with it like the rest of you.
Each of the head kind of seems amused as she kind of steps towards you.
The human spirit is quite indomitable.
Tenacious.
Well,
Tenacious T.
the thing that's around your neck It seems to be loving whatever energy you're giving it.
Does Kushra have a parasite?
She stops like maybe at 2 feet in front of you, and each of the heads, as she kind of like leans towards you to get like a closer look at you, each head seems to like, the red and the green seem to flank and kind of go to the sides, while the blue kind of stays in front of your face. She says, "Do you have any idea of what it is? Because I'm greatly interested."
Another slimy piece of shit, just like the rest of the celestial things that control this world.
I wouldn't call this one celestial. It's far from it.
Well, good. If it's if it's something lesser, then by all means, that'll be very easy to get rid of then.
I wouldn't be so sure.
You're talking like this is an STD. Come on now.
It is. It's the ancient fiend. Gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea. She says, no,
It's
she
the
does.
ancient fiend of the end of days and calamity. It's chlamydia.
My God. She says, whatever it is, the essence it gives off is nothing far from vile. Even I'm impressed. She kind of takes a step back. She just says, and it doesn't seem to be of, well, this timeline.
She's out here like reading us like books.
Oh, then you speak of... Huh, it's still here. Interesting. How... I think after finally understanding what this is, he beneath the mask, his jaw has feasibly dropped. But within a moment, he shakes his head and he looks up at the nearest dragon that's facing him, and he says, "So, are there 3 brains in there, or is it just 1?"
There are 3,
That's a good question.
but we work as one. It makes casting magic significantly easier.
Yeah, what's your backstory? I'm curious now.
Me?
Go ahead, keep
start from the
monologuing.
top. Yeah, start from the top. We have no time limit here. Listen, we're getting paid hourly by this, I think. So if you want to run it up, that's fine. I'm pretty sure the prince will pay us for however long it takes us to do this. You know.
I am simply a very old creature that has been around since before the calamity.
You don't look a day over 300. Smile.
She makes a gesture as if like acting like you're flattered type deal, like hand on the chest type deal, and kind of like turning slightly, just like kind
I rolled a seducer. I'm kidding.
Oh,
Imagine the gut.
how
cut.
strapping.
The gut punch of trying to sleep with one of my characters.
I've done it before, and I'll do it again.
You have not slept with one of my characters.
So, do
happen.
you have a natural affinity for true sight, or did it take you years of studying?
I was born with it,
Voted by it.
as I'm, well, of a power level just less of that of to you, Matt. Or at least I like to
Oh.
believe I am.
Lordy Jesus. Okay.
That's an interesting challenge rating. Uh,
Uh,
Mo fucking hold on.
hey, hey, Chief, can I get her to roll a DC 16 Wisdom check?
Sure.
Oh no. What are you doing?
You said a 16?
Yeah, 16. Wait,
Wisdom
hold on. Do I
check
have
or
to do it?
save?
It's the targeted creature must make a DC 16 Wisdom check. So a save. Yeah.
Yeah, saving throw. So yeah, she passes.
Oof.
Do I get to roll even if they pass it or no? Is it only after they pass it or only after they
What are you
fail it?
casting?
My mirror.
It's only.
Oh, never mind. No. If they pass it, I don't get to do
Yeah,
it.
it's nothing. Yeah, you don't roll anything.
All right. Never mind then. Unfortunate. That would have been
Mirror
baller.
moment.
That would have been baller.
You do
That would
see
have been fucking. That would have been so clutch. You're not even. You don't
How
even
does Kellic look in
understand.
all of this?
He's probably napping.
He's a
Also,
little.
did Yotan come, or is Yotan just
Yotan
sitting in
stole
the
the
cart
cart.
still?
He stole the cart.
It's just the three of us. It's just me, you, and
He-
Kellic.
He looks a little.
Fuck.
He looks a little rigid. As in,
Oh,
like,
Kosha, we're not fighting her. I don't know. If you
he-
want to fight her, I will gladly watch you die. I'm
he
not fighting her.
he looks a bit nervous around her, and also is based on the conversation so far. It looks as if he is afraid that she is going to look into his mind.
Am I the calmest one here?
Yes.
Like, I am like chilling, dude. I'm not worried.
Well, other than her, you are the calmest person here.
I feel like she's gotta be like, all right, I respect it. I mean,
Like, one of the heads, when you did pull out the mirror to like do this, it did like shoot a glance towards it, but like kind of went back to like looking at Kosho.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna hold up my mirror. I'm sorry. I have trust issues. All right, we've dealt with some shady characters. You might know some of them from Greyborough. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of insurance, you know. I apologize.
It only makes sense.
You're acting on your best interest. I'm acting on my best interest. I need to know. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. To be honest, I feel like I've been pretty upfront about that. I'm just a little curious about your angle and what exactly you're protecting. And honestly, I'm even curious as to why you brought us in here. Was it to have a more intimate conversation?
I have another question, but yeah, please do answer that.
She kind of, one of the heads kind of turns to you, gives a smile. It just says, I thought it'd be interesting to bring you three in here. It
Fair enough.
has been a bit
I respect it.
dull watching the Almorian soldiers do their thing. Watching them frantically run about, wondering what is happening in here. When, to be perfectly honest, it's nothing that is concerning for anyone on the outside.
Well, we can relay that information to them, and hopefully they'll move on and just kind of like leave Stone Farm where it is, unless they're not telling us something about Stone Farm. I believe, or player to DM here, is Stone Farm the one where we went into the mine?
No, you went in.
Or was that Red Hill?
That was not Red Hill. Wait, was it Red Hill? Yes, it was Red Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, honestly, I have no idea what's in Stone Farm. I think the mine was the only thing I was thinking of, but that's in Red Hill. But yeah, I have no idea what's in Stone Farm, what's hidden under the dirt here. I have no vested interest in whatever your investment, quote unquote, is for here. And honestly, I feel like you are strong enough to protect it, obviously with the bubble. If you want us to go back to the prince and try to convince him to move on, we can try. I don't know what assurances I can give him that'll make him want to like walk away from this. You just might have to be prepared for some armed guard to be sitting around the bubble in case it does drop. And then at that point, I have no idea what his angle is.
I would say I would rather let them squirm a little longer. Considering
Fine.
there are troops coming, that I would rather them dispatch for me than me have to deal with those swine from over the sea.
You seem to have a pretty confident string of information or chain of information that I'm assuming Sarsthagians are coming, and you want to watch this battle unfold. If you could give us any information about the approaching force, um, I'm kind of curious to watch how this war game plays out. If I can sit in the bubble safely, I don't know. You might kick me out.
She smiles and she says, "If you're so interested in watching the conflict ensue when it occurs, by all means, who am I to stop you?"
So, do you have any information about the Sarstags coming, or do you just know that they are coming?
I simply know that they are, and they're going to try to hit as hard as possible. Which the prince already knows this. He's seen it in action.
Well, he said he was here, uh, roundabouts already coming hot off battle. So if Sarstagian's already this deep into Almoria, and might be a little concerning for him. I mean, I honestly am okay with just sitting here, kind of watching how the battle goes, because I can't give them any more information that they already don't know. Um, and I'm not really interested in being on the front lines for Almoria versus Sarthstag. I'd rather go straight to Sarthstag and try to nip it in the bud, as the druids say.
I would not recommend such a reckless action, as much enjoyment such a chaotic act might bring. That country
But
is nothing but vile, and I would. No, it's not recommended to poke the hive. One
I
might
I
say.
am I am curious though, for someone who doesn't like Sarthstag as much as you've been, hating on them so far, it's a bit weird with someone at your caliber hasn't done much to them. You seem to be at home here in Almoria. I don't know how loyal you are to the country, and honestly, that's not my business. But if you want Sarthstag to go down, you could join forces with Almoria and use your power to defeat them. I get the feeling that politics is not your play.
You are correct. I would rather not interfere with things that don't apply to the little games that I play on my own.
But don't you worry that Sarstag's going to come in and, interfere? Meanwhile, Amoria has been pretty negligent, if anything, about worrying about any of your affairs. I mean, you were in Greyborough, and you and Greyborough had a pretty good, nice contract settlement or whatever agreement you had. And I don't think Almoria was trying to investigate you. It kind of feels like Almoria is the better cut for you versus Arthstag, who might, want whatever you're hiding here.
To be uh, blatant with you, I'll step in when required. But until then, I think, well, the prince and the king seem to have it quite under control.
Hey, I'm completely fine with that. Yeah, honestly, do what you want to do in your best interest. I'm just saying, if I were you, it seems like Almoria is the better cut of the deal. Although, while we are safe in the bubble here for now, assuming that we're allowed to stay and watch the battle, we do have some friends outside the bubble, like in a cart right outside the battle bubble. Is it okay if we bring them in here as well? For safety? I do care about these people and they're not going to join the battle. Although Jotun might want to join the battle, but we'll let him figure that out later.
You see, as you ask
Wait,
this,
you're trying to tote us? You're trying to tote our stuff in here?
Yes.
You see as she, as
Would
you
you
say
want it
this,
out there in the battlefield?
This is
I was gonna say questionable at
Interesting.
best.
interesting
uh,
thought process.
okay. As you say this, you see one of the heads pull its attention from Kosho, kind of look in the general direction of your cart. You see one hand shift, the mouth of this one head move, and behind you appears the cart with Yotan sitting on the back of it, now looking around a bit confused, and Doug, who is no longer his. You see that the little lead that he was on, along with the python, did not follow, and it seems the lead has been cut short, and he is just kind of standing there, kind of looking around, as well. Which Kellic
Well,
immediately, finding an opportunity to pull himself away from this, goes and sees Doug.
all right. Well, gang's all here.
You can tell as he walks away, his tail is slightly tucked.
I'm Jay chilling, man. We're gonna have front row seats to a battle. I think it's gonna be chilling.
Okay.
Ooh, this is questionable.
If we need
But
to, if the prince needs us, we can step out anytime. I don't think Callista cares whether we stay or go. We can come out and we will be the cavalry as usual.
I'm gonna turn back to Callista and say there are others I could ask that are more than masterful in the subject, and yet here I am and here you are. How does one absorb this pitiful excuse of remembrance that seems to be tethered to me? From one seeking enlightenment to another, of course.
I don't think it is what you believe it is. I think it is an entity who found an opportunity to pull from you.
Still, how does one absorb this? There must be ways.
If there are that I haven't seen before, I would say they would be as dangerous as attempting glitchhood for someone of a mortal standing.
I don't require too much eldritch knowledge, but that would be quite compensatory. You've given me some thought.
If you'd like to know what it is around your neck, perhaps I can gift you with what it looks like.
Do what you must.
She smiles as she lifts one of her hands and, with the very tip of one of her claws, just taps you on the forehead. You get, as it makes contact, this vision rushes to your head, and you get in great detail what she was looking at. You see around your neck, there's this serpent that almost looks like it's made of brimstone. This ashen red and black, almost like hot magma, wrapped around your neck. It almost takes on the shape of a noose. The tail coming up to your chin and kind of curving along the edge of your chin. The head itself peeking around your neck, uh, and at times seems to be actually biting down, and others just keeping its head close to you, allowing itself to lift itself up to possibly whisper into your ear or try to leak thoughts into your mind type deal. And as quickly as this vision came to you, it immediately dissipates, but you do have the memory of it.
Why must... Well, I guess I must be a good host. Thank you for the inside edition.
I'm sure your past is, for one who likes to feed off of what I can only assume to be your guilt and hatred, I assume your past is quite delectable.
Wouldn't you like to know? Just remember, there are consequences to your actions. Please no funny business.
I know there's consequences. They have yet to catch me. And you see her kind of turn, and she starts, like, casually walking into the town.
I'm gonna follow.
Okay. Kosho.
How can I withdraw from this place?
You can try to just walk out of the dome.
Would I still be able to get back in, or do I have to get do I have to get fucking knocked out and teleported back in here?
You don't know.
Can I ask that question directly to Trihead as she sachets away?
You can. You can call it out to her.
Okay. I guess as they're walking away, I call out, "Hey, how do I get out? And can I get back in?"
She turns and only one of the heads turns, and she just smiles and just says, "You can leave whenever you like. And if you want back in, just reach out like you did before. I could sense your energy trying to reach out to others in here. And I can let you back in."
Splendid.
She continues walking, Orion following behind. Kellic is staying with Doug.
I'm just trying to figure out what her investment is here.
Yeah. So you follow her towards the center of... No, not towards the center. To the mountainside of the town, where you find a very large estate. Very nice building, tall kind of walls and fences around portion of it.
Oh, this was the estate we saw when we were here.
Yes. You do also notice there are a number of kobolds that are moving about, some of which carrying various, some of which moving chests in and out of the building. Others seem to be delivering messages or bringing messages back. There are some that are simply standing guard. And as you do come... are you following her into the estate?
Well, I'm gonna ask if I can go into the estate, but can I roll for perception to see if there's a maybe some dumb looking some dumb kobold that's like maybe carrying giant javelins that are too big for him.
Roll a perception check.
That is a dirty 20.
Oh my god. You hear a crash on the inside. Like something got fallen over, and you hear like... not a panic noise, but like a oh fuck, I did that. But it's like
you just hear
incomprehensible.
paws pattering on the tile like a fucking dog who accidentally not spooked themselves.
Yeah, pretty much. And she gets up to the porch, and you're asking if you can come in with her. Or you
Yeah.
she just kind of turns and says, if you would like, I just have a few things that I need to address in here
That
before I
is
go and
okay.
speak to some people in town.
I'm just curious as to what your investment is, because as you probably noticed, our magical encyclopedia man is not here, and I'm sure he would be distraught if we came back with no information. So,
Yes, he's always been that way.
oh yeah, doesn't Callista have a history with Calder?
She knew him, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And she leads you through
They
the front.
dated back in high school.
They did not date. I will share that much.
I'm not kidding.
You follow her into this kind of main kind of foyer area of it before turning to what looks to be a very large, uh, extravagant office space, uh, which inside you do see a kobold with a helm that looks more like a bucket than a helm, and a pair of javelins on his back that look a little too big for him.
Oh boy.
And that's where we'll end
Am
the
I gonna have
session.
to?
I'm gonna end the session there tonight.
Oh boy, am I gonna have to RP
Wait.
with myself?
Unless Kosho had something
Wait.
to say. Kosho,
Do I
would
get
you-
to RP with myself? I'm ready.
But yes, yeah, that's the end of tonight's session. Unless Kosho had one more thing that he needed to do.
That's amazing. No, yeah, I guess I'd be setting up camp with Yotan
Yeah,
for the night.
Yotan and Kellic didn't move from the spot. They stayed out there.
Cool
Okay.
beans.
So yeah, that's the end of the session. That was a good session. Good storytelling. That was great times all around. Turned into a slight bit of a botany / shopping session.
Slash pissing match.
Yeah, slash pitching match. But on that note, we hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, there are 3 ways to catch us in the next episode, which will be Thursday, which will be the Thursday group of the Scale of Fate. You can follow us on Twitch, turn on those notifications so you get notified every time that we go live. Join the Discord, where the notifications are also posted, as well as some of the Twitter feed that we do post from time to time, as well as the ability to speak to us and other members of our community. And if our community gets big enough, we may start doing little one-shots here and there with some of our members. And the last way is to follow us on Twitter and turn on notifications there, where we will post the day of, confirming that we are having a session. I try to keep up to date with that. Sometimes I don't do great. Other times I do pretty well, I think. I could be wrong. But, and if you want to catch up on previous episodes, we have a YouTube page curated just for you guys to catch up from beginning to present or end of a campaign, with each playlist consisting of every episode of that campaign. And we hope you guys enjoyed. We hope to see you in the next one. Peace.